Yeah. Tune in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I said the end, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I don't affirmly straight apply. Or when I'm stand up for the stone, I live my life. Been Easter, it's when Easter, they stick when I make it thighs. But the schoolies never bet for me, my dough is still for thighs. I'm the horn, niggas know they cute too, I keep out the bone. But let's get it, you know my me, you miss be up the shown. And when I see a niggas fine, you will stay up front. And if they got me, no, then I, you know I did the con. You up the icon, I see the fact. Missing, I'm easy, but I hate, I wake, so what I pack. I keep a searing in the rain, then I smoke as trash. And if I get, I'll keep a far. I know some planet, yeah. Taking trash to the sky from my reason to living. All the flu on the blame that resenting he reeling. Next kicking out of love, I might never be willing. You shall never know what you I can never forget. But tune in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I 7 in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, you know by now it's on the line of people, but you never know this name is Kanana sequel. Speaking fresh, taking down, so decide the needle. Put down, stay the time to line like you want the needles. And if you hate when I like the brown, it's like your cam in the ground till they come a noun. But I got so fresh up and through the moose confused. And now I know what's up and noon and that was all for you. Say you never lose, stakes is later, Parikana. I was go he's not a like a bagel, Jake your face. But I was thinking to his soul when y'all was by the cover. And now I rain, man, I ain't like the make whatever. I say blend flame mind, you gave me no restriction. This nap so hard, go within and never missing. Convinced that you need love me now, but sure and never tripping. It's the amazing saw, boy, yo come and get tripping. Tune in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I say the name, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream.
Yeah, I'm back in the building. This is GPTV1 live stream, unfiltered. This is the Wednesday edition. And you know we're going to be talking about the elephant in the room. But before we get to all that, y'all in the building, click that like button, click that subscribe button, click that notification bell. So this video is spread around and you can get alerts whenever I go live. I do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I will be back live tomorrow, covering some of the hottest topics out there as I build this live stream. I appreciate it. But some of the topics I will be covering today, got a lot of stuff I will be covering. And it's going to be a great show. I'm always packed with information. I need to reload this. With y'all, I had to set that up back really quick, set it up, a little technical thing, had to refresh this page. But some of the topics I will be covering today, of course, like I said, the elephant in the room, Diddy verdict. He definitely got found not guilty on the RICO charge, so everybody was questioning that. Apparently the jury was questioning that too. So we're going to hear what his lawyers had to say on that. But far as we know now that Diddy's bail has been denied, and the judge gave the reason why his bail was denied. Pretty much said this guy was violent, and you got to remember that the judge sat through all the evidence. But we're going to be covering that. Now, I found another interesting story with this big package of illegal substances that got washed up on a beach. Isn't that something? And then we're going to go into Operation Shock Collar. Operation Shock Collar. No, we're going to go into Nelly after that. Nelly clapping at Kamala Harris. And we're going to shed a little light on this story, some highlights, some good stuff with the Rock the Bells Festival. So that's what's going to be popping on this live stream. But before we get to all that, check out this public announcement. Welcome to the GP Inner Circle. What up, though, GP fam? I'm excited to announce that the GP membership is now officially active. This is your chance to step up and show your support in a way that truly matters. By joining the Inner Circle, you will unlock exclusive perks tailored just for the most dedicated supporters, because you deserve nothing less. But that's not all. The Super Chat feature is now live, giving you an even greater opportunity to engage with me and the community in real time. Your support fuels my passion and creativity, inspiring me to deliver the kind of fire content that only the GP fam deserves. So why wait? Join the GP membership today and be a part of something special. Let's elevate this community together, because when you thrive, we all thrive. Welcome to the Inner Circle. Your journey starts now. Much love. Yeah, I'm back in the building, right here on GPTVONE live stream. You can check out my membership. I got some good perks going on over there. It's definitely worth your time. And like the ribbons say below, viewers can now promote their social media page on the GP channel by signing up to the GP fam membership package for only $24.99. So check that out. But let's get to the elephant in the room. My music. There we go. I like to have music in the background while I'm broadcasting. Yeah, Diddy, and I'm getting ready to wind down on covering Diddy. I didn't make a lot of episodes about him, but I was chiming in on this. I did a few for sure. I did some live coverage of this. It's one of the biggest stories in the country, one of the biggest cases out there, high profile. And a lot of people thought he would get found guilty on that RICO charge. Some people did, rather, but a lot of people doubted that. And I was one of those people that doubted it. But like I stated on other live streams and episodes, that I don't pick sides. I let it play out in court. And I've seen too many cases where public opinion becomes the judge. And they may beat the case. So it's possible to catch a Fed case and beat a RICO charge. Would have put him in jail for life or prison. It was just hard to prove that, because it doesn't show that he was using his company as his criminal enterprise. It just don't show that. It got to be some further stuff going on. It got to be an enterprise with more people involved. And it got to be some profit involved. So what they saying that he did all this just to have sex, that's just far-fetched thing to try to put a RICO charge on. You expect that to be with a gang or something. Some type of drug organization or something like that. But they saying he was doing, nobody really just saw a RICO on that. But a lot of people, like Nancy Grace, was just going in on this guy. I wonder what she got to say. I'm going to have to check her out. I like her though. But a lot of people was calling for this guy to get found guilty. Well, some people put it like that. On that RICO charge, it was just for sure that he would get found guilty on that. So he was only found guilty on 2 of the prostitution charges. Even with that arson and all that stuff right there, it still don't prove that that was a criminal enterprise, that he was never fully charged for nothing. So no evidence actually linking him to that. But I'm gonna go to his lawyer right now. See what the lawyer had to say after coming. And like I said, his bail has been denied. I'm gonna share my screen and go to Diddy's lawyer. This is right after the verdict. Of course, this is a win for Diddy. Even though his bail has been denied, I think they still gonna go all out to try to get him out of there. Let's go and see what they say.
Thank you all for being patient. Am I speaking loud enough? You all can hear me okay? All right.
It's a win for y'all.
Today's a great victory.
More jobs.
It's a great victory for Sean Combs. It's a great victory for the jury system. You saw that the Southern District of New York prosecutors came at him with all that they had. They're not stopping, but one thing stands between all of us and a prison, and that is a jury of 12 citizens. And we had a wonderful jury. They listened to every word, and they got the situation right, or certainly right enough. They acquitted him of the sex trafficking, which he was absolutely innocent of. They acquitted him of the racketeering conspiracy that he was absolutely innocent of. And all the...
See, the first word in the RICO is racketeering. You know, there got to be some type of racket going on. And I just didn't see this racket in this situation.
Components to it. The kidnapping, he was innocent of that. The arson, he was innocent of that. The obstructing justice, he was innocent of that. And that is no longer just me saying that. That is the verdict of our jury. So today's a great day. Today is a win. Today is a victory of all victories for Sean Combs and our legal team. And I want to say one thing.
Oh, they're in the commercial.
Whoa.
They got to make their money. I'm mad at them.
There are very few people around whom a legal team could coalesce and become one. And Sean Combs is that person, and we are all blessed to be part of it. And I'm now going to turn it over.
What's going on?
I just want to thank my client, Sean Combs, for trusting us, myself, and everybody here, this incredible dream team that he put together.
I've been saying all along, having a good lawyer is important when you go to court. In this case, he had the money to pay for these good lawyers. So I like I said, I've been saying all along, they doing a good job.
Without him, we would not have been able to do this. He is incredible, and I want to thank him. I want to thank the jury for putting such great care into this case. They came early every single day, and I want to thank them, as I said in my opening, standing between all of us and the drastic consequences of the criminal convictions of sex trafficking. And RICO is a jury of our peers, and I thank them. I want to thank the judge, and I want to thank, despite the terrible conditions at the MDC, I want to thank the good people who worked there, who ensured that we had sufficient amount of time to prepare for trial. It is extremely difficult to prepare for a federal case.
I wanted to bet you whenever Diddy get out of there, he's going to complain about the conditions in there. Because a lot of times people go to prison and they get out of there, they be concerned about the conditions that's happening in there. He may turn to an advocate for people that's actually in prison, see what he can do to help out.
In the conditions at the MDC, and they did everything they could to make that happen. I want to thank them. I was saying this since the beginning of this case. Sean Combs has not sexually assaulted anybody.
That's another thing that's questionable about this case. Y'all had plenty of time to walk away and going on about your business, but y'all kept coming back.
We've said it with each lawsuit that came out, and today that was proven true.
All about that.
The media got it wrong.
Now I thought the court system is still not done with him. He still got all these lawsuits.
About Sean Combs every single day for nearly 2 years. I ask that for every time you guys see a civil lawsuit, criminal complaints or criminal indictments, you actually take a look and analyze these and see whether or not these are actually going to stand up in a court of law. Because today they did not. He has not sexually assaulted anybody, certainly hasn't sex trafficked anybody, and the jury found that today. Thank you. I am now going to pass this over to Mr. C.
I wonder if he got registered as a sex offender on them prostitution charges. I'm going to have to look that up.
Good evening. I want to thank
lawyers right here.
The ladies and gentlemen to my right and my left. There is not a better group of honest and ethical, hardworking, and zealous lawyers. And I especially wish to thank Mark and Tenny for allowing me and everyone else to come together. On behalf of my family, myself, I wish to thank you all for being here.
I just want to know for myself.
And writing truthfully about a man wrongly charged. Most of the thanks, Sean, for letting me be here. Thank you all. God bless.
You stop sharing that. So that was his lawyers right after the verdict in this case. But I want to look up and see if they had to register as a sex offender. They had these registries for his prostitution charges. Wait in my screen to pop back up. Let me go right here. So let me get up and see. Sign up, register. That's to register as a sex offender in a prostitution case. I still got that playing in the background. Let me turn that off. Let me get my mouse over here. Let me stop that. Right, let me stop that. Let me get back to my information I was just looking up. Sex offender registration is a legal requirement imposed on persons convicted of sex offenses and certain predatory offenses. So, the prostitution, that is considered a sex offense. But let me be sure. Is prostitution a sex offense? Well, what it says here is the law defines prostitution as the act of offering, agreeing to, or engaging in sexual acts for money. Nearly all states make prostitution a crime. Yeah, okay. Okay, this is another. Say, what is a sex offender? Okay, there are a few crimes more reprehensible than sexual violence against children. All right, we ain't talking about that. I don't like to hear stuff like that. What is a sex offender? The shocking range of crimes that can put you on the registry. Most people assume sex offender refers only to those convicted of serious or violent sexual crimes, but the reality is far more complicated. In many states, individuals can be required to register as a sex offender for a wide range of offenses, including nonviolent or seemingly minor actions, from public urination to consensual sex between teenagers. They're going to list the stuff: public urination, taking nude photos of yourself as a minor, soliciting prostitution. Well, that's what he was right there. Indecent exposure or flashing, consensual sex between minors, incest, computer content in the view of minors, hugging. Whoa. So let me go to this: soliciting prostitution. Prostitution is illegal in every state except Nevada. Being convicted of soliciting or providing prostitution is a crime, but does not constitute a sex offense unless the act involved a minor. Okay. However, 6 states consider soliciting prostitution a sex offense. So let me look at the 6 states. So that's actually good for Diddy. I'm trying to see what's the 6 states. Let me see what is that. No, I don't want to sign up for that. I'm trying to find these clues that. Yeah, okay, we got that. Okay, it don't show the 6 states right there. Okay, I'll do it like this. Just search that. Well, I still don't have a list of them right here, so I'm gonna move on from that. Move on for that. So I tried to look it up. I don't want to take up too much time deep in diving into that. But as of now, P. Diddy has only been found guilty of the prostitution charges, and his bail has been denied. It's the debate about the situation. But like I said, I'm winding down on covering Diddy. And I believe he will be out of prison. Then you gotta look at he have time served. And he need to break anyway, man. You need to sit your old butt down. You've been this P. Diddy for 30 years. Sometimes you just gotta be a real person, you know. Sometimes you gotta sit down and be sober sometimes. I do think he needs some mental health therapy, and I do think he needs to go to rehab. That's for sure. But let's move on to the next story. This story right here is interesting, where they found all of this work, these substances that washed up on a beach. That is incredible, and it's worth $1.5 million. Now, I'm gonna play that news clip in a moment here, as soon as I get past this commercial. I wonder what this was at. Let me share my screen on this one. This is insane right here. I wonder who found this. Get some sound going on.
Story tonight at 6. Shocking discovery on a beach in Baldwin County. 110 pounds of cocaine worth an estimated $1.5 million.
WKRG News 5's Debbie Williams joins us live. And Debbie, the search is on for where all this cocaine came from.
Exactly. So that will be up to federal authorities. It's their investigation now. After a day at the beach ended with seashells, suntans, and a whole lot of cocaine. A day at the beach, just west of the wildlife refuge on Fort Morgan Peninsula, when swimmers see something bobbing in the water and drag it on shore. Once they saw what they had, they called police.
50 packages, 2.2 pounds per package, so about 110 pounds with a value of about $1.5 million.
Tests confirmed it was cocaine.
The package was wrapped in black plastic, and they did tear into the black plastic, but they didn't open any of the individual bundles.
It's happened before. 4 years ago, just under 100 pounds of cocaine washed ashore along West Beach in Gulf Shores. And for the next couple of days, more cocaine hit the beach. And that could happen again.
It's not uncommon for us to get a bundle and then a few days later get more bundles, and they can wash up. Sometimes they're individual, like the kilo size, and sometimes larger bundles.
Investigators say the cocaine had been in the water for a while. Barnacles were already attached to it. Now the question is, where did it come from? And like we say, that'll up to federal authorities. Homeland Security agents picked up the drugs earlier this afternoon. And they'll use the...
That's crazy right there. Somebody missed a package. Hey, I know that was a big loss right there. And it was sitting out there for a while, like they said. And this had happened before, a few years ago. That's interesting. 1.5 million worth of illegal substances that washed up on a beach. And they trying to figure out where all that stuff come from and where was it going to. Apparently it was coming to y'all's town. Apparently so. But they're gonna do some further investigation into that. They're probably not gonna find out who left that package there. That'll be a pretty hard thing to try to figure out, especially if it's been sitting in the water that long. So somebody missed their mark on that one. If you're in the building, this is GPTV1 Live. Unfiltered. Do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And click that like button. Help the channel out. Here's another story. Nelly clapping at Kamala Harris for being married to a white man because people were questioning him for performing at Trump's inauguration. That's not nothing unusual. These rappers and artists, they be performing for these candidates. They may not be with the party or not, but it seems like this guy is down with the Trump movement, and she must have questioned about him performing at this thing. Hold on. Screen jumping somewhere else. I'm gonna get back where you belong at. Okay. My page done grouped together. Let me ungroup this. Go from group. Ungroup. Okay. There we go. Now let's go to this Nelly article right here. Nelly responds to backlash. Oh, they got an actual news report here. That may be an old report right there. There we go. So St. Louis raised rapper Nelly Donald Trump's inauguration ceremony last winter, insisting it was not a political endorsement and offering some new remarks on Trump's presidential opponent, Kamala Harris. I want to go back. So since January, Nelly has faced some backlash from fans and fellow entertainers. Okay. The topic resurfaced during a June 27 interview on Hot 97's Ebro in the Morning with radio host Ebro Darden. Ebro asked Nelly in reference to the performance, Nelly, have had you under fire. We've been talking about your political stances out here. You still on your pro-Donald Trump stance? Nelly replied. So this is what I'm saying. Where did you get pro-Donald anything? What you had was respect for the office. And it's great how people spin narratives to things I think best fit whatever they're against, instead of giving a brother that is fundamental of what he did, what he said. Nobody's doing that anymore. Everybody's, if you did this, you are for him. He continued, and it's amazing how you could do something, but if you don't agree with everything that somebody does, which I plainly said that, I don't agree with everything my wife does. So be in a situation where, no, I have respect for the office. This person does some things good, and someone does some things good. Okay, I want to get down to what he's saying about this woman. What I didn't see was the year before performing at the inauguration, I did an event with Vice President Harris at the time. Nobody ever brought that up, said Nelly. Nelly then doubled down on previous remarks, insisting there was no political motive. Okay. What a part where he's supposed to be clapping at this woman, Kamala. And they were saying that he was saying something about her being married to this white guy, which is a true thing. Man, a lot of people may question that. So, you know, they always question her blackness. Even Trump questioned her blackness. So I don't see nothing in this article where he's actually bringing up this racial connotation, at least in this article. At least in that article. I looked online to see was there any videos or something I can play. There's mostly podcasters talking about that, so I'm not gonna focus too much on that. Move on to this one. This is, what's the name of this again? We go back here. Go here. Operation Shock Collar. Operation Shock Collar. Shock Collar. Shock Collar. I think I may have a news report on that. What was this? It's I had washed up on the beach, and Nelly blast fans inauguration. Okay, this is another article about Nelly on Kamala Harris. Okay, describing her as the prosecutor who has probably locked up more black men than we've helped women of color with the white husband and white kids. Okay. Central to Nelly's defense was his personal connection to the American military. Okay, this is another article saying that he said these things. But we'll see how far that goes. It's not coming from a major news outlet. But it's going on to this Operation Shock Collar. They end up arresting a lot of people in this case right here. Well, I'll share my screen with this one. Yeah, they're doing all these sweeps all over the country.
Good morning. Thank you for coming. My name is Kim Sanchez. I am the chief of the Fresno office of the United States Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of California. I am speaking on behalf of the acting United States Attorney, Michelle Beckwith, who regrettably could not be here today. Today, a major victory for law enforcement, and more importantly, for our families and neighborhoods. I have a number of law enforcement partners here with me today to tell you about an operation.
Skip past all the introductions and all that.
Acting as one. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, California Department of Justice down was a critical blow to the operation of these criminal street gangs. The gang preyed on the vulnerable.
Back a little bit.
Your mandatory minimum drug trafficking offenses, and the remainder face charges. Operated like a corporation, but their business was crime, chaos operation as well. This gang wasn't just tagging walls. They were trafficking guns, flooding the streets with dangerous drugs, smuggling into jail and sending orders out of jail for the commission of crimes.
In California, they prison
carrying out acts of violence with zero regard for human life. They operated like a corporation, but their business was crime, chaos, and fear. Throughout this operation, there were 89 defendants charged. 38 were charged with federal offenses.
Now, this is a real RICO. I don't know if they calling this a RICO, but how she explaining it, it sounds like a RICO.
Of those 38, 32 faced charges for 10-year mandatory minimum drug trafficking offenses, and the remainder face charges for illegal firearms trafficking and illegal firearms possession. We've seized firearms and narcotics. We've shut down gang houses, drug houses, and cut off communication lines.
Whoa.
This takedown was a critical blow to the operation of these criminal street gangs. The gang preyed on the vulnerable recruits and vulnerable victims. Let me be clear, we will not let gangs win. We will join together and fight for victims and their right to live in peace and crime-free. This is not the end. We'll keep going until every gang member knows you will be found. We have done this for years, and we will continue to do it. You will be stopped and held accountable. Before I close, I want to address 4 individuals who were charged as part of this investigation, but have outstanding warrants for their arrest and have not been taken into custody. Ramona Feliciano, Servando Ayala, Gracie Polito, and Rodrigo Rubalcaba. We know who you are, and we know where to find you. And law enforcement will not stop until you're brought in to answer for your charges. So I urge each of you to do the right thing and turn yourselves in. Report to the nearest law enforcement agency. Continuing to evade only makes matters worse. And in closing, I'd like to thank all of the partner agencies, federal, state, and local, who have been unnamed. The support has been immense and goes on for 2 pages.
Operation Shock Collar. That I would consider that to be a RICO, not that P. Diddy stuff. But they're doing sweeps like this all across the country. They sweeping up hundreds of people. By the time they get through, it's going to be thousands of people racked up on these charges. It's been a popular topic in the political arena. Trump don't like these street guys. They don't like cartels. They don't like illegal drugs. They hate it. But again, with all this being said, this takes attention off white collar crime. In fact, I got a new playlist. Y'all go check that out. It's covering the underbelly of the money game. If y'all into seeing the dark side of the money game, see how they getting over. I got a few stories up there right now. It's a brand new playlist, and you all can go check that one out. There's some hot stuff, very informative, and I'm excited about working on my documentary too. And I just gotta send a mad prayer for my family. There's some serious stuff going on within my family, so y'all can send a prayer out for that. But this story right here, they arrested so many people. I think like 89, 90 people with this situation right now out there in California. It's called Operation Shock Collar. I may do an episode on that, like its own separate episode, because that's an interesting story. And before I get out of here, I got to share some real light, something positive, you know. And I said one of these years I'm gonna get out there to the festival. I got people out there, I got family out there. And I said that a couple of years ago, and I just haven't been keeping up on it, but this has been hitting my line. I'm gonna play a little bit of the OG performing on the stage. I'm not gonna play too much of it, but the past couple of, well, at least last year, this festival is off the chain. Sure, there's some classic acts up there performing. And they draw a nice crowd. See if I can pull up that footage. So there's some good vibes here. And that 1.5 million. Woo! Y'all lucky y'all found it, and people got the right people found it, because some people wouldn't have called the police for that. That's for sure. But they found that package and they called the police immediately. I'm trying to get my Rock the Bells footage up here. What's going on with this page? Let me refresh this page so I can share my screen. What is this? Oh, this. Okay, now I found it. Here we go. I'm gonna share my screen and show the God of rap, performing a little bit of his performance. And this is from the Rock the Bells Festival. Let's go, Rock him. God. To me, he the best rapper ever. It's just my opinion.
That's what I'm saying, I got signs like a scientist. I'm melodies in the code. Every next episode, pass the mic over the soul, ready to explode. You might get buried, I ain't the keys to make cola. Listen to the system, kick like solar. As I memorize, advertise like a poet.
Okay, that's Rakim. Let me see who else performing up here. What's that? Like Harris. There was one. All right, let's carry this one. Who else we got on here? Well, it look like Kane. Looks like a singing group. Yeah, that's a little footage of the Rock the Bells Festival. And I would like to go to that one of these years. I'm an OG. Some of those acts are some of my favorite acts back in the day. I used to play a lot of that stuff. I was a big fan of Rakim for sure. I always thought he was the best rapper, but it was always a toss-up between him, Kane, and KRS-One. And then you had your personal favorites. Scarface is one of my personal favorite rappers back in the day, sure. Scarface, Spice One was one of them. E40, Too Short. Who else was it? Biggie. I like Biggie back in the day. LL Cool J. I like the Kane. Public Enemy. Two Live Crew. Ghetto Boys. Pimp C and Bun B. UGK. Outkast. MC Breed. Tupac. So Ice Cube was one of those artists I liked back in the day. But I just want to shed some good light to end this live stream. Rock the Bells Festival. Mad prayer goes out to my family. Y'all catch me tomorrow, Thursday night. As I keep building on this channel. I'm excited. I hit 700,000 views. And we're looking to get to those 1 million views. But again, y'all stay blessed out there and stay safe out there, fam.